Yes, oh yes, yes, y'all. Kids and wives and 9 to 5s, but we are married to the games. 018. We're 18 episodes in. We're so happy to be here. Thank you guys for listening. This is your boy Gabe Patillo, along with Timothy Hall and Tim Rauter, of course, and as always, except for that one time where Rauter was gone. But still, it's usually the three of us. So, yeah, man, we're happy to be here. We're talking video games and life and whatnot. So we're going to get into it. Tim Rauter, tell us how your week has been, brother.
Man, I love the way you always intro our stuff. It's so much fun. I'm always just like, yes, 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 y'all. I end up doing that when I'm listening to the podcast too. Good stuff. Yeah, so week went well. Let's see. It's been really warm here in Nashville up until Sunday when it's just been rainy and temperature dropped like 20 degrees. So we were all snuggled in. And then last night we had a winter advisory because we were supposed to get some major ice. And it never happened. And so Lauren and I were like, oh, man, I really wanted a snow day. That would have been great, like just to be home. Because even if you get a dusting of snow here, like downtown Franklin shuts down. So Lauren may go by the store really quick and I'll shovel. And then we just go home and then we have a snow day. So we were kind of hoping for it because, man, I got to get some more Far Cry 3 in. It's just, that's what I've been playing.
That's right.
Take a day off. You want to stay home.
That's basically my week is Far Cry 3. It's been so good. I really like it. And the funny thing was, like at E3, when I watched the press release and they showed all the footage, that was honestly like my least interested game from that Ubisoft conference. I'm like, But after everybody's been talking about it, and I just bought it, and man, it's just good. It's good open source. Good old fun, and it's really, really cool, and I'm loving it. And Hall, I think you're playing it too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I started that this week. I was looking for like something new to play out of the big, huge pile of games that I have unopened.
Yeah, me too. I did get to squeeze Journey in too, and in between.
Oh yeah, you beat Journey.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And it was beautiful. I mean, it's a very just chill game. And there's not a whole lot to it, but just the scenery and the physics of the game, it just flows so amazing, and it's just beautiful. And I can see why it got a lot of the credit that it deserves. And Gabe, you're right, man. The score is ridiculous. I mean, it's just really, really good. So everybody, I definitely recommend it. Go play it. It'll take you maybe an hour and a half to do, and it's just
is that it?
Yeah, it's really low key. I mean, I had to split it up between 2 mornings because I usually do all my gaming early in the morning, and I split it up within 2 days, but I was done in no time, and it's really good. It's just a really good game.
Is it rewarding? Does it feel rewarding? Like when you beat it, do you feel like yes, I just played a really good game? Or are you like, okay.
Yeah.
That was it? Or
it was more of a, that's it. But that was great. And I mean, I would go back and do it again too, just to mess with it. Cause it's just beautiful. If you want something that's just kind of chill, and I'm just coming off of Borderlands too. So I'm like blowing guys' heads off and all kinds of stuff. So I go from that and go to Journey. It's just like, if you just want like a nice, peaceful, low key, just chilled out little game, and it's really beautiful, and it is thought provoking. There is some thought provoking moments to it, and it was great. I think you'd really like it.
I'll have to check that out.
That's good.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. So yeah, normally I go on and on for a while about something, but that was pretty much it this week.
Well, let me ask you this though: how are you? So you've talked about Journey. What are some of the things that you're loving, and then we can get Hall's take as well. But what are some of the things that you're loving about Far Cry 3 so much?
Yeah. So what I love about Far Cry 3, it's definitely it's my kind of game. It's just an open world game. It reminds me a little, and it's kind of typical Ubisoft. It reminds me of Assassin's Creed in that there are like different forts that you have to kind of liberate because, and then the natives come in and they take over it. You put things together. You become a horticulturalist because you put you collect all these plants and it gives you medical syringes and you can do animal repellents, and it's really creative. It's just really cool how it works. And I think my favorite is just the AI of it is just great. Like, because you're not just dealing with these pirates and humans, you're also dealing with the local animals on the island. And there's, tigers and Komodo dragons and wild boars and just all kinds of stuff. And it's super cool because, I was hiding behind like a bush and just watching like some of the deer, and, their ears twitch, and like they have like this skittish way about them, as a deer should. And like, I just for the heck of it, I shot a bow and missed one of the deer, and they all scattered, and it was just kind of random, and it's just really good. Like, I think they really studied animal behaviors on this, and they got the AI, I think, really solid. And it's just
there you go.
It's just a good looking game, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, you can go in and you can stealth kill some of the pirates, and they give you these different missions. Like, one of them, you have to kill like the main guy via a takedown or a stealth kill. So yeah, it's just a fun game. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think
you said you've liked everything except the multiplayer.
I haven't played any of the multiplayer.
Was it you, Hall, that was saying the multiplayer you haven't found anybody to be able to play with?
At first, I couldn't, just because there was something wrong with the servers.
Oh, okay.
But they've worked it out now, and I'll talk more about that in my update. So
I got you.
But yeah.
So Rauter, you are loving Far Cry 3. That's awesome.
And I'm loving it. You can hang glide, jet ski. You can basically take any abandoned cars that are on the island and drive around, and it's open world. It's just really cool. It's a good shooter too. So I'm loving it, man. It's a lot of fun.
It almost sounds like what Lost should have been when it was a video game.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because people really didn't like that game, but obviously the show was awesome. I think that show was amazing. But it sounds like island and indigenous people, or people already there, and having to survive and things like that. And it sounds like that's what Lost should have been.
Yes.
And I wish it would have been, but I never played that game. So
I agree. I never played the game either, but yes, having seen the TV series and everything, yes, it's definitely that way, and it's a lot of fun. And it kind of makes me want to awesome. Go to a beach somewhere now too. Now I've got we're in the middle of winter, and now I'm like, man, I got to go to a beach.
I know that's right. Amen to that. I just came back from Florida.
We're a long way from beaches, man.
Yes.
Out here.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But yeah, so that was pretty much my week. It kind of boring, which is fine. I mean, just working and getting back in the swing of things, and we took all the Christmas decorations down, and we were enjoying the warm weather that we had up until a couple of days ago, and now it feels like winter, and it's actually kind of nice. I like it when it's nice and cold. So
there you go. Timothy Hall.
I like it when it's nice and cold, but not icy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people drive really bad in Nashville when it's icy.
People in Nashville drive bad when it's sunny outside.
Yeah, that's true. They drive bad when it's sunny and 65. But
exactly.
Man, like I was telling Rauter, man, I cracked open Far Cry 3. I just had a stack of stuff to play. And I kind of posed the question on Twitter, like, is this a good pick it up for an hour and play game? And a lot of people said, yeah, it was. So that was the one I picked up, because I know I'm only going to be having an hour or two here and there to play. So,
right.
I will say, the single player game, I do like it. I'm not the biggest fan of open world games. They're not my favorite. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel overwhelmed by like those big sandbox games like that?
Not necessarily. I just find myself mainlining it. Like, I don't really have a lot of fun going out there and just exploring the stuff. I like more of the set piece type games, where just every stage is a set piece or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm the exact opposite. I'll take, like, once I finish a mission, I'll look at all the availability of either side missions or loot or anything, and just explore that whole area. And
I think, I was going to say, I think Borderlands was that for me, but it was more RPG, and that's why I liked it. Like,
gotcha.
I could deal with the open world elements and really enjoyed the open world elements because I like the RPG elements of it.
I got you.
I meant to tell you that when you said it was, a pick it up for 1 hour and you can put it down, definitely. The problem was on Saturday night, I picked it up at like 12:30 at night and didn't go to bed till 5. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
It's one of those games. I was like,
No
oh crap.
way.
I got way too, and I didn't have my phone with me, so I didn't really know what time it was until I hit the PlayStation button on the controller and it said the time. I'm like, oh my God, Lauren's going to kill me. But
I was gonna say.
But no, it was fine because I still woke up a couple hours later when Piper woke up and it was fine, and Sunday was a nice chill day anyway, so I got caught back up. But yeah, it's dangerous in that you can pick it up for an hour, but if you like it like I do, you're gonna end up playing for a lot more, and time flies when you're playing it too.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, the game, the first time you play it, you should play it for 3 to 5 hours, I would say, because you don't really get to a good place until about 3 to 5 hours in the game that you can actually put it down, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Like you have to get over those first few missions to get anywhere, really.
That makes sense.
Because it teaches you the things you need to know, like making your health packs and how you can get animal skins to like make wallets and stuff like that. So it really, I recommend playing it for 3 to 5 hours your first time, but then after that, you can pick it up for an hour here and there.
And save 30 minutes for the beginning because of that stupid update. That took forever.
Oh, the update didn't take very long. The install took a while for me.
Right? Yeah, right.
Because I remember I was texting you during it, and I was like, or no, you were like, "Are you playing yet?" And I was like, "No, I'm waiting on the install."
Yeah.
So, but the co-op, I meant to tell you, I got into the co-op, and I really enjoy it. It's really good.
Oh, good. You do like it.
Yeah,
wasn't a bunch of people that first time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got into the deathmatch a couple matches, but honestly, it's subpar, so it's not even really worth playing. But the co-op is a lot of fun. It kind of does these things. It reminds me of Uncharted 3's co-op, if you guys played that.
No, nope. I never did.
Well, basically, you're going through, and it does it in groups of 4. And as you're going through, if somebody dies before the checkpoint, then those other people have to survive until that checkpoint for you to come back to life. So,
that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I like that.
It could come down to like one guy being alive and he's trying to get to the next checkpoint, for everyone to survive. I mean, it's pretty neat. As far as I can tell, I don't think you have like a fail at any time. Like, I don't think it actually kicks you out of the game. I think it just lets you keep continuing from your last checkpoint. But the cool thing is that you start out and it's a kind of a co-op thing, and then it'll get to a certain point where it'll say, all right, everybody compete. So you get, like, for this one that I played the other night, it started out and everybody's running through and shooting up dudes and stuff. And then we get to this bridge and we're looking over the bridge and it says, all right, everybody snipe. And then you were basically competing to see who could get the most kills, like with a sniping range or something.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it does these little competitive things every now and then that are pretty neat.
Man, that's pretty cool. It's almost like a mini game.
What's that?
It's almost like a mini game inside what you're doing. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely it's like a mini game, and then everybody gets experience points for it. I think you get the most if you like win the mini game. It gives you a little bonus and stuff. It's really well thought out, and it's in bite-sized chunks. It's pretty much, I'd say, 35 to 45 minutes per like co-op level. It's really fun though.
That's great. Man, I wish we were on the same playing schedule, Hall, because I know you game more at night, and I game early in the morning because we have to at some point just text me and be like, get on, and that way we can co-op
do the
together.
Co-op. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun, especially if Gabe would get it. All 3 could do it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm down. I ain't scared.
Yeah, Gabe, get on it, brother.
Yeah, like Tim was saying, the shooting is competent, so it feels kind of like I don't know, kind of like a Killzone-ish control style, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you've got a little bit of weight and it takes time to move stuff. I will say one thing, man, that game, when you're in the single player, it runs like 22 frames per second.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I mean, I've experienced a few things here and there, but I've heard that's one of the downfalls. But I hear the PC version is almost flawless.
Well, of course, it's the PC version. It just depends on your PC.
Yeah.
Really? So you feel like it's real hiccupy, huh?
It's just slow. It literally. I think there's moments where it's running in under 20 frames a second. It's definitely.
I think just because they cram so much stuff. So much stuff on the screen.
I'm not really sure what it was, because games like Uncharted 3 have no problem running at 30 frames a second locked. And I mean, that game arguably looks sharper to my eyes, but I think it's just that it's like that time in the console generation where it's like it's time to move on to something new.
Yeah, they're pushing it.
I mean, have you guys heard the proposed specs of the newest machines?
Yes, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking somewhere between 4 to 8 gigs of RAM, and the current machines have like 512.
Amen.
Yeah, 512 megabytes of RAM.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I'll take.
It's about to be on and popping. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
People are gonna lose their minds.
Yep.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible.
That's awesome. Oh, Hall, I meant to ask: did you finish XCOM then? Are you officially done?
I haven't finished it yet. I really need to go back and do that. But like I said, I keep playing it and it doesn't stop. It's not stopping.
No, it sucks you in, does it?
Well, no, it sucks you in, but it's like I really want the game to be done.
It sucks you in, but it doesn't spit you out.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, not a whole lot going on. The wife went back to the dentist because she had a dry socket from getting her wisdom teeth pulled out.
Oh,
yeah, so she's been eating. Yeah, I know. I feel real bad for her. She's been eating soft food and stuff like that. So I've been trying to like help out where I can and just make her things that she can eat. So
chewing up her food for her and stuff. That's gross.
Yeah, exactly. Mama bird.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's disgusting. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. Gabe, what about your week?
Oh, mine's been good. Been busy, of course.
Where are you right now?
I'm phoning it in from Philly.
Yes.
I'm sitting in a hotel in Philly. It's been great. I did not get a cheesesteak today, but I got enough. I got enough of them last time. I got enough of them last time that I probably don't need to get any this time. But in Philly, had an awesome day today. Today was great. Besides it being freezing cold, we walked around all over. I took some pictures. I think I put it up on our Twitter. Went and ran the Rocky Steps. Of course, you have to do that when you come to Philly.
Oh yeah.
Saw the Liberty Bell. Saw where the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and all that was written and signed. So I got my little history in there. And so it was cool. It's been a good day. It's been a good day. I'm exhausted, but it's been awesome.
I miss Philly. I miss Philly a lot.
Are you guys doing the show tomorrow or tonight, or when are you guys doing the show?
Well, we had some shows last weekend in Florida, which the weather was amazing. So we were all in shock when we got here to Philly today because it was just so cold. But last night we were a part of a really, really cool event. It was called A Night of Hope and Healing. And we were in Newtown, Connecticut last night and did a big concert there just for the people of that town. And it was really cool, man. It was a lot of people showed up. I think there was the place held 10,000 people, and they said it sold out in 39 minutes when the tickets went on sale. So it was one of those things where we were like, man, is this too quick to be doing it? Because it was only 32 days later. But at the same time, when the tickets go that fast, you're like, okay, well, obviously the people want it. You know what I'm saying? If it was too, we have to let them be the judge. So if it was too early, then nobody would have bought tickets and they'd have been like, But it was a really cool event, really somber, like it should be. Had some great speakers, Max Lucado, Louis Giglio, a bunch of acts, Casting Crowns, Mandisa, us, Chris Tomlin, Laura Story. I can't remember who all was there, but it was really cool, man. And it was cool to see. There was a couple of the families from Sandy Hook that came out, which was kind of a surprise. Like you hope that they show up, but you don't want to, you don't assume that they're going to show up. So I think there was 3 or 4 families. Yeah, exactly. So I think there was 3 or 4 families from Sandy Hook that came out. And so we just loved on them, man. We just, and we really, hope and healing, that's what it was all about. We really wanted to offer them hope, and we really hope that they, are blessed through, what we got to do for them last night. So, big shout outs to Newtown. They showed a lot of love, and they came out, and a couple of the people got to go and drive. A couple of our guys got to go and drive by the school, which is all, kind of guarded off, but, you can still go out there and just kind of see, kind of where everything went down. So, it was a sad thing. But at the same time, it was really humbling for us, just to even be there and be a part of that kind of event. But it was really cool that so many people came out, and, and I hope that the families felt loved on from all the other people that were there. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was really cool. And it was one of those things where you sit back and you're like, man, it was hard because we do shows usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we're home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday when we're touring pretty heavy. And so this show was on a Tuesday. So, I got to go home from 8:00 in the morning the other day to 3:00, and then had to start the drive to Connecticut. But it was one of those things where me and my wife looked at each other and we were like, this is a good thing that we're going to go do. So it helps, since I'm going to be gone for about, 11 or 12 days, it really helps that we got to be a part of something like that. Cause she was like, babe, you go do it. You know what I mean? And so it was really cool. So a night of hope and healing, it was awesome. And that really encapsulated my whole weekend. Like just knowing that was coming and then being able to be a part of that last night was really cool. So, it was a blessing to be able to be there. And then, also on a totally different side of things, I started Mass Effect 3. And I was I was up in the air about which game to start next. And I was just looking at him. I had him on my bag. I was like, all right, Mass Effect 3 it is. Even though I was kind of sad because I didn't know we were going to kind of go down this, walk in history today, or I would have started Assassin's Creed 3, I think. I would have much rather have played that.
That makes sense.
Being in the same room that, John Adams and George Washington were in, and like they still have the chair that George Washington sat in and stuff like that. And you're like, holy crap. Like there's, you talk about history. They were like in this room and walked on these floors, and they said the buildings are 90% original on the outside, which is crazy. And then they're about 70% original on the inside. And I was like, man, that's pretty high. I didn't realize that they had been able to conserve it that well. And it was funny because we were walking up to the, I think it's called the... So there is indoor plumbing then? yeah. I would imagine that's not that's probably part of the 30% that wasn't original. that and the sprinkler system that they had installed.
Yeah, I don't think that happened back then. I'll challenge them on that one.
Yeah, exactly. It was funny though when we were walking up to, I think it's called the Philadelphia State House is the original name. I think they call it the Liberty Hall now. But we were walking up to it, and Toby goes, "Man, I think this place is on the back of some money." And we were like, "Oh, really?" And none of us recognized it. And it slowly came out that, it's on the back of the $100 bill. And I was like, well, that's why it's on the back of the $100 bill.
I was going to say.
The rest of us were like, I
knew it was going to be on something like that.
Yeah, had to be the 100. So,
let me just look at my $1,000 bill here. Oh, yeah, there it is.
So that was real cool. I was wishing I started Assassin's Creed, but Mass Effect is awesome. And I forget, like, even though I just beat the second one a couple months ago, I was like, shoot, I really like these games, and it was just like, riding a bike. It was just like right back to it, easy. There wasn't, this steep learning curve because, I just played 2, and it was cool bringing my character over from 2 to 3, wishing I could have done it from the beginning, with the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. But it's really cool. And it looks awesome. It looks amazing. I still don't really love the lead guy's voice acting, though. I just feel like it's a little deadpan the whole time. Like,
I always felt like that.
yeah, I just feel like it's really monotone, and I don't know if it's because he's got to say so much, or that I'm just like, because I didn't really like it when I played 2, and then you play Walking Dead, and you have Lee Everett, who had to have said a million things too, which obviously that game's not half as long, but still, Lee's voice acting on The Walking Dead is incredible. You know what I'm saying?
It's really nice.
Which I was surprised.
Gabe, well, I was going to say, I understand. I think I read that the reason he was so deadpan was because he has to kind of represent a character that could be multiple different styles.
Oh, that's right. I figured you can make his own face and everything like that, huh?
Yeah, because he couldn't, it kind of had to be a guy that could encompass multiple different races into one voice. That was probably really hard to do.
I should have made him have an afro. That would be hilarious watching that.
Oh, that'd be great.
With an afro.
Hey, Gabe, I meant to ask you, does your XP carry over from 2 as well? So you kind of start leveled up, or is it just
you
your
start
character?
leveled up, which I was really surprised by. Because I think the cryo ammo and all this, the incendiary ammo, or however you say that, it shows that it all carried over from my last game. I was like, oh, sweet. So that's nice
cool.
to kind of fall right back into that.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that was awesome. So I didn't have to go back and upgrade my health and all that because I'd already done that in the previous game. So I was like, nice. They were thinking
really
about
cool.
something.
I haven't played any of that series, but when I was with Hall after Christmas, I went and picked up Mass Effect 2. So I'm starting with that. So you got me excited about Mass Effect now. So I'll be, once I'm done with Far Cry, I may go into that.
There you go. And it was kind of cool because one of the guys on the bus, I'm on a bus full of non-gamers, and he came to the back and he just sat there. And I was like, what's up, man? He was like, I kind of just want to watch you play this because he loves stories. He loves movies and stuff and loves stuff with a story. He's a big book guy. And I was like, yes, got another one.
Hook 'em.
and I told him about Walking Dead because he's really into the show. And he downloaded the first episode and played it in 2 nights and loved it, and he's going to download the rest of the episodes and play it. So I was like, slowly but surely, Jack, slowly but surely.
Yes. Hook him up, brother. Hook him up. That's awesome.
We going to get him. So that was my weekend. Router, is there anything that got released?
Yes, we actually have 2 releases of note this week. DMC, Devil May Cry, came out for Xbox 360 and PS3.
That's right.
And the other one is Sniper, Ghost Warrior 2 for Xbox 360, PS3, and PC.
I wonder which one's going to sell more.
Yeah.
My friend said he was watching, my boy Ed, we've talked about him on the show before, said that he had been watching some playthrough of Devil May Cry, and he said he didn't feel like it was anything special, but it's a big franchise.
I've heard a lot of people giving it praise, so I wonder how it's doing.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, we'll see how it goes this first week, but yeah, I remember even because didn't it get pushed back too? Because I remember on a couple other podcasts I was listening to a couple months ago, people were saying, "Oh man, I wish Devil May Cry was coming out," because there are some followers for it. So
it may have gotten pushed back. I don't know if January was the right time to release something, but
yeah,
seems like a rough time to release stuff.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess at least they had no competition. So,
and maybe that's why they did it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, that's probably true. Let me throw something in there real quick. I don't even know where I saw this at, but there's a whole community, and I guess I should have figured this, but I didn't know it was this in depth. There's a whole community of guys who just talking about these games. I saw something that it was like 3 new NES games. And I was like, what? And I was like, what? They can't be official games. Obviously, they're not official NES games, but there's a whole homebrew community that not just make these games, but like put them into cartridges, make boxes and manuals for these games. And they're literally brand new NES games. And they look really good. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And
that's awesome.
And they're not cheap. They're like,
oh, I bet.
The average price was like $30, $35, for an NES game. But I was like,
hey,
man,
that's cheaper than they were back in the day, man.
Yeah, that is true. But I just thought, for some reason, I don't know why I thought they should be like $15 to $20, but that's just me. I might be undervaluing their work that they're putting in. But, December 10th, 1994 was the last official NES game, Wario Woods. And I saw these 3 games. They were called Battle Kid 2, Assimilate, and Nemolos. I don't know how you say that. Anyway, I just thought it was really interesting. The cartridges look super cool. Some of them are see-through. They got art and everything. But it's this big homebrew community that's selling these things. And I was like, you know what? Big ups to those guys for bringing out freaking new NES games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go buy those, man.
That's awesome.
I thought that was I thought that was super awesome.
You know where you can get them?
I forget I think the one website was Retro Game, because they all come from different places. It wasn't like one place that was talking about it. And that's why I say there's this big community about it. So I think you could probably easily find them. I just thought it was really interesting. I thought it was really cool. And I was talking to one of the guys in the band about this, and he was like, and I was like, man, I wish I could get my hands on an NES. And he goes, dude, I got 4 at the house. I was like, what? And he goes, I went to a garage sale where this woman, for some reason, had like 4 NESs, and he was like, how much you want for them? And she sold 4 of them to him for $10, like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So he's gonna, and they have the box and everything, so he's gonna give it to me next week. I was like,
that's amazing.
Sweet, he's gonna give me one, because he's not gonna do nothing with it.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was awesome.
Dude, that's
so
awesome. You're
go
lucky.
Get
I had to
Kid
find
2.
mine at freaking. I had to find mine at freaking Goodwill. So you're lucky.
I bet you did. Timothy Hall, you got something for us?
Yeah, I was reading an article. It was pretty interesting, talking about the jump for the next consoles. And, the rumor tech is already kind of leaked and stuff, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But this article was it was an interview with the Dragon Age 3 developer, like one of the developers on the team. And he was saying that, it's coming out in late 2013, so everybody's saying, oh, it's a next-gen title. And he was saying, don't expect the next round of consoles to be as big of a leap as the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 was. Basically, he's saying that you're going to see more probably performance-based leaps with the next round of consoles. Right,
better frame rate, stuff like that.
Exactly. As
no
it
more
stands now,
in.
Most games are 720p. They can barely run 30 frames. If you're Far Cry 3, you can barely run 20 frames, but, yeah, it's like, I'd rather, with these next round of consoles, I'd rather see all the games, in 720p or 1080p and just make them run at 60 frames a second. That'd be great. I don't need anything else.
I think I agree with that too. I think with the new hardware, really essentially what you're getting with these next gen is you're getting faster processors, better and more RAM capacity, and that they may just leave it at that for now. That way it allows basically the consoles to catch up with the game developers. And so I totally understand that. I think that makes perfect sense. I'm not really expecting anything mind-blowing anyway, other than we just have completely updated hardware that's not 10 years old, and we'll have more memory because it's cheaper. We'll have faster processors, and it'll just make the gaming experience just
better graphics cards too.
Oh, absolutely.
Graphics cards have come such a long way since 2005, and like another thing that he mentioned, and I'd mentioned this on a previous podcast, is the money thing. When they did the jump from Xbox and PlayStation 2 to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, the teams for these that make these games, increased pretty sizably. I think they were saying on Resident Evil 6 there was like a team of 300 people making that game.
Wow.
And I imagine the people that made, Resident Evil 4 was maybe, less than half of that. So,
and it still wasn't that good.
Yeah. No, Resident Evil 4 was good. Resident Evil 6 was not.
That's what I'm saying. And with more team, Resident Evil 6 still didn't do anything.
Yeah, numbers can't save games. But what he was saying, though, is, basically the games aren't going to get too much more too much more advancement in certain areas just because the teams would have to get a lot bigger. And he said at the end of the day, you got to sell copies. If you have to sell 20 million copies of a game to break even, your team's too big.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's terrible.
I'll be curious though, because everything's going to be updated, if we're going to see more engines coming out. Like the Unreal Engine is great, and I'm sure somebody's going to expand on that. I'd be curious to see exactly what more these engines can do now with better hardware.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Oh yeah, it's going to go next level. I think it's going to start getting so smooth and flawless, and you're not going to have games like Infamous and Batman and Spider-Man. When you're going really fast in a city and you're kind of seeing the buildings pop in and out and the textures pop in and out. That's going to start working its way out, and it's almost going to be like, it's like what Hall's saying. It's going to start getting so seamless and nice. We probably won't feel the big jump in graphics, but you're going to feel it everywhere else, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't wait.
I'm ready for that, man. I'm ready. Like if they come out with PlayStation 4 and Xbox, whatever it's going to be called, man, if any of them can break can get $299 or under, I'd probably pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to happen, but
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen either. But my rule of thumb has always been when it comes to hardware, I always wait a year.
Well, definitely wait. Like Rauter's saying, and if they do the same thing with the PS3 that they did with PS2, where they continue to make games for it, there's not going to be a huge rush to go out and buy.
That's true.
That's true. Like I'm in no rush because I got a stack of games to play anyway. But yeah, there's still games coming out for the PS3. It's not like they're going to cut anything off.
Yeah,
that's true.
Especially since I think the PS3. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the PS3 is a year younger than the Xbox 360. So I don't know if that's which I thought was really interesting this last week. The PS3 surpassed the Xbox 360 in shipped numbers. That's not sales numbers, but shipped numbers. I thought that was really interesting.
And wasn't that worldwide too? That wasn't just in the U.S.
Yeah, the U.S. is definitely like that. There's probably 2 Xboxes to every PlayStation, but then again, how many of those Xboxes are still working?
You're right.
I know. Freaking Red Ring of Death, man. Golly, I couldn't stand that thing. But I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, shoot. I feel like I don't barely know anybody who plays PlayStation, but this report came out saying it reached 77 million. I think Xbox 360 has shipped 76 million, which is really interesting considering the year difference. But that year difference might speak into how much longer they make PS3 games over Xbox games.
Very true.
Well, I think the Xbox or the PlayStation 3 received a bigger bump when it did its second release, when they did the Slim.
When it got cheaper, yeah.
Exactly. When they did the Slim, man, that bump was arguably bigger than when Xbox released the S. I don't have the numbers on hand, but it was definitely hyped up a lot more, and Kevin Butler is to prove for that. That's why they went out and did that campaign with him.
Yeah.
They knew they were basically going into a brand new console launch because a lot of people had stayed away from the PlayStation 3 because of the price.
Right, I did for a while. I know that.
Yeah, I didn't get it till they released the Slim, so price.
Yeah, I think that might have been right for me too, but I still got a fatty.
Nice.
Router, you got something for us, bud?
Yeah, man. If you guys haven't checked PlayStation Network yet, this week, free download of Darksiders for PS Plus members.
Oh, that's right.
I gotta go get that.
I definitely want to get that, considering THQ is basically selling off all of its assets within the next couple of weeks. Poor guys. So if anybody wants a piece of THQ, line up now. The auction is a coming. So, but yeah, so
that's right.
So we got that, and what else? Oh, I had something else. I mentioned this last week, but Dead Space 3 demo. Some people already have it and are playing it, and apparently they give you quite a bit in the single player as well as multiplayer. But it will be available to everybody, the demo, on January 22nd.
All right, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, I'm excited for that game, actually.
And Also, just on some, it's not PSN, but for some reason, whenever you talk about PSN, it makes me think of iOS just because of downloading stuff. But and of course, I'm the only one that's going to be excited about one of these. But Temple Run 2 is coming out, I think, tomorrow or something like that.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, Temple Run 2. It's already available, I think, in New Zealand, which is really interesting because the other game, Final Fantasy All the Bravest, is coming out, and I think it's already out in New Zealand, which is really, I didn't know what the connection was with New Zealand getting it a day earlier. I don't know if it was just because they're so far ahead of us in time, or
I was going to say, they gave them a break because they're ahead of us, so they're like, go ahead, New Zealand, it's all you.
Tomorrow's here already. But the cool thing about Final Fantasy is it's an old school look. It's back to the old school, like sprites standing on one side and just like hopping over and attacking. But if anybody's played Final Fantasy, you know that usually you can play with 3 people at a time, 2 people at a time on the newest one, 4 at a time on some of the older ones. This one, I watched the preview, and at one point they had 32 sprites on your side that you could attack with. They have huge parties. I was like, oh my gosh, yes and thank you. And there's 35 main characters from all the Final Fantasy games. So it was cool to see Cloud as a little sprite on there.
It was cool to see them, but it sucks to see that they're 99 cents each.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I was like, probably won't be buying Cloud. I'm gonna wait till Cloud's on sale.
That's funny.
Wait till Cloud's on sale. I'm against all in-app purchases. I don't know why, but I don't like them.
I'm kind of with you on that too.
Except on You Don't Know Jack. That game. I really feel like doing that.
Yeah, no, that was the only game that motivated me to do that, but I haven't done it.
Yeah, me neither. But Temple Run 2, that's exciting because I used to love that game. Also, I wanted to talk about, since I did this whole Sandy Hook thing yesterday, and obviously it's been huge in the video game world about Obama and him calling together the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, to investigate a possible link between gun violence and video games. And it didn't upset me at all because he doesn't know anything about video games, I'd imagine. And I think when you're the leader of a huge country, then you've got to do something when something crazy like this happens. And I think he's grasping at straws a little bit, but I'm not mad at him. But I just didn't like how
I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you, Obama. But everybody kind of pointed the finger at the NRA, and then the NRA released a statement and pointed fingers at video games. And I know that he's trying to do a lot with gun control and everything like that. And I don't even know where I stand yet on all that. But I just wanted to, can I throw you guys out some numbers that's in my poor defense of video games? Can I give you guys some numbers? So handgun deaths in 2012. I'm just read you some numbers real quick. Japan had 48. Great Britain had 8. Canada had 52. Sweden had 21. West Germany had 42. America had 10,728. Now, that is a ridiculous number. Now, let me put that against this. The 5 biggest video game markets. America spent $13.6 billion on video games. Japan spent $7 billion. China, $6.8 billion. South Korea, $5 billion. United Kingdom, $3 billion. Now, I think if you take the numbers at face value, you're like, well, yeah, see, look, America bought almost double of everybody else. But then you got to look at the population. We have 311 million people in the United States, where Japan only has 127 million. And for them to only have had 48 deaths by handguns and us have 10,728, I just think the problem is more than gun control. I think the problem is more than violence in video games. I think it's a cultural issue And I just think, at the end of the day, I think it might sound stupid or cliche to say it, but we just got to be kinder to each other, and we gotta start putting other people first. And I know we live in a pretty selfish country, but man, we got to start loving each other better, man. We gotta stop this hate that's going around and this craziness. You know what I'm saying? We can't let one thing try to get rid of a whole something else that doesn't even really have anything to do with it. So I don't think the numbers stack up when it comes to the whole Obama and the video games and the violence with the handguns. But I think it's really telling who he's using. And I thought this was really interesting when I was looking at it. I was like, the CDC, and it was, the Center of Disease Control. And I was like, why them? And then I was like, but then on the other hand, I'm like, because it's a disease. You know what I'm saying? The people that go out and do these things, it's not because of video games. It's not because of movies. You know what I'm saying? It's a sickness. That's not something that regular people do. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, let me add to that, because you've raised a very good point. I think it's hilarious that the NRA is coming out and talking about cites video games, among others, as the cause. Meanwhile, this week they released the NRA gun app, and it's a firing simulation on iOS. And the age limit was 4 and up, and then everybody got into an uproar like, whoa, 4 and up? Are you kidding me? So then they changed it to 12 and up. So that's interesting.
Exactly.
Another interesting stat was 40% of gun purchases, 40% occur without a background check.
That's ridiculous.
To me, that's
pretty bad.
To me, that's more significant than like those numbers that you threw out, Gabe. It's exactly right. But to me, that kind of hits a little bit more home in that we're offering guns to people that probably shouldn't have them. And the bottom line here is that you're absolutely right. We need to be kinder to people. We need to love our people. But you know what? In the tragic case of what happened last month, we have to love our children. I mean, look at where this poor kid came from. And, being a new father, I mean, it's one of those things where be there for your child. Take those extra hours to skip work and be with your child and love on your child and love your wife, so that your child can see that and grow up in that. That is, to me, the most important thing. And, guns is going to be a big issue, and that's going to throw in violent video games. It's going to throw in violent movies, and everybody's looking for a scapegoat, and there is no universal solution to this other than the human heart and the human values that we have. And that's the kind of stuff that is going to prevent things like this from happening again. And it's ridiculous. It's just one of those things where I hate that we always, when something like this happens, we like media and government, they turn to something and they're trying to grab just at least something. And yes, it may have an impact to some people and it won't to others, but it's not going to prevent me from video gaming still. And I don't like the fact that they immediately just start going after it, when really it's not a government thing. This is a human thing.
Yeah, of course. And I think as humans, we look for answers, and that's what they're trying to come up with. You know what I mean? Everybody's pointing
exactly. And not to get too much into a political discussion, but it's like about that statistic that Tim said, about 40% go without background checks. That to me is a little crazy that they would even allow that. But
that's
I mean,
almost half.
Some people do need those kind of things. Like I think about my wife's grandfather, who they live out in the middle of nowhere. If somebody were to break into their house, the cops aren't going to get there in time to be able to do anything for them.
Sure.
So having some form of protection is necessary. But I don't understand how. I mean, I guess I do in some ways, but the people that commit crimes, so many of them get stolen handguns or are using it that they weren't able to get one and are getting it from somebody else. Like that to me is crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're going to kill regardless, but
Yep. But there's just a culture here that, that needs to be dealt with. And I think it's obviously more of a heart issue than it is way before it's a gun issue, way before it's a video game issue, way before it's a music issue, way before it's a movie issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shootings were an issue before any of those things existed.
Well, and we had the same issue with Columbine when Columbine happened. We're basically repeating ourselves. It's the same. It's the same situation. And it's absolutely tragic. And Gabe, I'm just thrilled that you guys were able to go up and experience something like that, because that is exactly what that community needs. They need something like that. They need hope. They need just people to lay hands on them and be like, you know what, it's going to be all right. And that's the kind of stuff that we need to rally around and focus on, not the what ifs. And we're going to see all these studies now, and just wait for it. It's all going to come flooding back exactly like it did with Columbine. And it's just one of those things. But it's like I said, it's not an issue of government and policy. It's an issue of the heart.
Yeah. Yep. Government's never going to be able to stop evil. And you know what I'm saying? That's the end of that. Anyway,
it's not their job. So
nope. It's
Exactly.
Hey, all I know is I'm going to keep gaming.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep gaming and not be crazy.
That's right.
Exactly.
Timothy Hall, you got anything else for us?
Man, I'm dry.
Tim Rauter, you got something?
No, man, I'm good.
Let me lay this on y'all. There's a big announcement being teased from Hiroshi Sakamoto.
I know where this is going.
Do you?
I think so.
I have no idea where this is going.
That's the VP of Sony. And they said they have a huge announcement coming, but they can't tell us till at least May, is what he said. They have to wait till May at least, is what he said. And so everybody's speculating that it's going to be at E3, which is June 11th through 13th, which we have got to go to.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We need to make a blood pact or pact that we're that we're going to that.
Either one we must make, and we must do.
If we could make a blood pact, that would be awesome. But if we could make a blood pact, that would even be more awesome.
That's awesome. Yes.
So we need to get to E3 and see what Sony's talking about. I can't imagine what it could be outside of a console thing, which obviously it probably will be. But if it's something more than that, then that would be incredible too. And I welcome it. And I say, bring it on.
I think the reason he's saying May is because that's after The Last of Us comes out, so it's probably going to be PS4.
Shout out Last of Us.
Yep.
I'm telling you what, I'm going to do a commercial.
I think you should.
Like a bunch of cheesy music going. I'm be like, yeah, The Last of Us. And I have a little commercial because we are a walking commercial for that game.
Yes, we are.
Also, too, real quick before we get out of here, Microsoft Play is a new thing that Microsoft is doing, and it will allow people on Windows 8 to download XBLA games. And I thought that was really cool, really interesting. The problem is all the games that they've released so far suck. And so, no, but seriously, it was like Solitaire and stuff like that they've released so far. It's like stuff that's already on Windows. And so, but you'll be able to bring your gamer tag over, your stats. There's achievements that'll be on there. And so, the games aren't great yet, but they're just getting started, just getting rolling. So give them the benefit of the doubt. And I think that'll be a really cool cross thing for them. And I think that's really smart. I just hate that it sounds so much like Google Play, which just, started up in the last year. So Microsoft Play, do your thing, Jack. Anyway, that is another one down for us. So we appreciate you guys listening, man. I'm glad I got to phone in from Philly. It's been awesome out here hitting these streets. We're going to keep going hard. You guys know where to find us. Twitter, MTTGcast, Facebook.com/Married to the Games. You could drop us a note at mailbag@marriedtothegames.com. Thank you all you guys that have been following us. We're following you. Follow us. Follow you. Like us on Facebook. Rate us on iTunes. Check us out on Stitcher. We going to be here, baby. We going to be here again next week, whether you love it or you hate it. I'm Gabe Patillo. For Timothy Hall, for Tim Rauter. We Married to the Games, and we up out this thing. Peace!